An ant colony is basically an underground city, home to thousands of individuals. It's a society built on flawless cooperation, a complex network of tunnels just buzzing with life. Day in and day out, they work as one giant, unified organism. But what happens when their entire world is threatened by a raging flood? What happens when the ground beneath their feet turns into a watery grave? For a lot of creatures, a flood this big means certain death. But for some ants, it's not an end. It's the trigger for one of the most incredible survival strategies in the animal kingdom. For a colony living underground, a flood isn't a minor inconvenience. It's a catastrophe. It collapses the delicate architecture of their home and drowns everyone inside. As water seeps into the nest, alarm ripples through the colony. Chemical signals and frantic movements spread the message, "Get out, now!" For many species, this would be a panicked, disorganized mess. But for some, especially those living in flood-prone areas, chaos gives way to an ancient instinct. The colony has to evacuate, but when there's no high ground, no easy escape, they have to do the impossible. They become their own lifeboat. It's a desperate gamble, where failure means the end of their entire line. And this is where one of nature's most mind-blowing spectacles begins. It's a strategy most famously perfected by fire ants, native to the floodplains of South America. As the nest floods, the workers don't scatter. They converge. They start linking their bodies together, grabbing onto each other with their legs and jaws. It's a masterclass in teamwork and self-assembly. Individual ants, who might struggle on their own in the water, become the building blocks of something greater. The process is astonishingly fast. This isn't just a random clump of insects. It's a highly ordered process. They are building a living, breathing ark, a raft made entirely of ants. So how does a structure made of living bugs not immediately sink? The secret lies in a mix of physics and biology. Each ant's body is covered in fine, water-repellent hairs. When they link together, they weave themselves so tightly that they create a living, waterproof fabric. This living mesh traps a layer of air around the raft, especially underneath. This trapped air makes the whole thing incredibly buoyant and provides oxygen for the ants submerged at the bottom. The connections between them are unbelievably strong. They use their tarsal claws, adhesive pads, and even their mandibles to grip their sisters. This living fabric isn't rigid, it's fluid. It can morph and stretch. It can engulf things like twigs or debris rather than breaking apart. The result is a nearly unsinkable vessel, a masterpiece of biological engineering built in a moment of pure crisis. The structure of this ant ark isn't random. It's organized with one goal: ensuring the colony's future. The most precious cargo gets the highest level of protection. The queen, the mother of the entire colony, is moved toward the protected center of the raft. Alongside her, the colony's next generation, the eggs, larvae, and pupae, are also carefully positioned. In some cases, the brood is actually placed at the bottom of the raft. Their bodies are surprisingly buoyant and can even help add to the raft's overall stability. With the queen and brood secured, the colony's future is safe, even as they're adrift on a hostile sea. The workers on the outside of the raft face the biggest struggle. But they often rotate positions, allowing submerged ants to come up for air. The whole thing is a single, coordinated entity, a superorganism, adrift but alive. Once afloat, the raft is at the mercy of the current. This journey can last for a surprisingly long time. Fire ant rafts have been seen floating for days, and in some cases, over a week. They drift across the floodwaters, a teeming island of life in a submerged world. This remarkable adaptation isn't just about survival. It can also be a way for ants to disperse and find new territories after the floodwaters recede. But the raft isn't entirely passive. When it finally bumps into something solid, a log, a tree, or a new shoreline, the response is immediate. The ants swarm onto the new surface, testing it for stability. If it's safe, the disembarkation begins, just as orderly as the evacuation. Once again, the brood and the queen are moved first, carried to safety to establish a brand new home. While the fire ant's living raft is spectacular, it's far from the only trick ants have up their sleeves. Some species are civil engineers, building tiny levees or earthen walls around their nest entrances. Others become living doors, using their specialized, flat heads to physically plug the nest entrance. In the regularly flooded mangroves of Australia, some ants create waterproof air pockets in their nests, essentially building tiny bunkers to wait it out. The bamboo nesting ant has a two-part plan. First, workers block the entrance with their heads. If water still gets in, they start drinking it, carrying it outside, and spitting it out. And some ants are just plain tough, surviving underwater for hours, or even days. The world of ants is filled with these kinds of incredible, hidden stories. If you find these amazing adaptations as fascinating as we do, subscribe for more journeys into the hidden world right beneath our feet. From a catastrophic flood rises an ark of living bodies. The flood will recede, but the colony, thanks to its incredible, unsinkable